Hello, Starshine. This is Smadar from Song of Stones, and I'm a crystal whisperer, which means I talk to stones and they talk to me. And I've got 3 beautiful crystals here that have been whispering to us at this very special time of the year, the winter solstice. Today happens to be the longest night and shortest day of the year. And I know that, the tendency is to want to focus on, okay, now the darkness is ending and every day going forward is going to be filled with light, more and more light as we get to the summer. But I want to invite you in to pause for a moment here, to pause in that darkness, in that long darkness for a moment, and ponder a different perspective of the darkness. Think about the cycles that we go through in life, the ups and downs, the moon, when the moon gets dark and we get into a new moon, we don't see that as a bad time. We don't see that as a bad phase of the moon. We see so much in that dark new moon. And I want to invite you to take that way of seeing the moon, that perspective, into the seasonal darkness. The cycles have purpose. The deepness, the longer nights, the shorter days invite us in to rest more, to gestate something that we might be creating. And we think of summer as the time of birth and creation, spring and summer. But we forget that, we need that 9 months of gestation before something can be birthed, before a new life can come in to the light. So I'm just offering that perspective for you today to allow you to have a moment of quiet reflection and think about whether you're honoring the rest that your body is asking for, that the world is asking you to do. And it's easy to forget because we're constantly turning on lights inside our house, and we've got the lights from our screens, we've got the lights from our TVs, we've got lights around us, so we don't really get that true sense unless we're living in the country and there's not as much, we've got lights, street lights, we've got all kinds of lights coming in, and so we forget that it's even dark. We sometimes forget that it's dark, and then we don't understand why we're feeling blue, or why we're feeling down, or extra tired, or unmotivated. And I want to clarify that unmotivated is not the best word. It's reflective. It's introspective is a better word for that. I mean, certainly there are going to be times when we are unmotivated, but that's not what we're talking about here. So, and I want to highlight that this year because I've like this is this is what I've been feeling, this is what I've been hearing from other people. It might not be your experience, but I've been finding that this year has felt especially dark. It has felt especially, I've felt especially more tired. Maybe I'm just forgetting what I felt like last December. It could be. But right now I'm feeling like this is an especially dark year. One where I personally am feeling like I need a little bit more downtime, more rest. And what's different for me this year than other years is I'm starting to really honor that more deeply, to see the blissfulness and the blissful is a good word. I was lying in bed this morning and thinking about those moments when we're just waking up or just falling asleep, when our body gets so relaxed and it's so luscious and delicious. And those are the moments that alarm clocks can rob us of. They just jar us out of that beautiful, restful relaxation. If you have the luxury of not needing an alarm clock, I highly recommend trying it, even if it's just on the weekends, just trying to honor that few minutes in the morning where you're just waking up, or those few minutes at night where you're just starting to fall asleep. You're still conscious, but you feel your body just totally surrendering. And we can do that. We can go into that state in those dark moments of winter, rather than allow ourselves to be jarred out of our rest by the noise of the day, the noise of the lights, the noise of the bustle and busyness of the holidays. We can choose. And I'm not going to say that it's easy to do that. It's not at all. But we have that choice. We have that freedom to choose, to at least try to enjoy the darkness, to enjoy the rest, to enjoy those few, it doesn't have to be long. It can only be a few minutes. Just think about those few minutes in the morning, just how precious they are and how deep they are and how powerful they are. Just those few minutes. When we have that, we start our day in such a better mood than if we're just yanked out of sleep. So that's what I see the darkness of winter as. The time in between seasons where our bodies are needing a little bit extra rest, but where we can bring in choice, and we can find moments, and we can take full advantage of the daylight to do more of the busy stuff then. Listen, sometimes we don't have that luxury, and I get it. And there's other ways to get around that. There's other ways. When we don't have the luxury of having, being able to take some extra time to rest, we can find moments where we intentionally find that time, steal that time to rest, whatever it takes, by hook or by crook. And what we can also do is call in on the crystals. And these 3 crystals that are here before you have been singing for us. They've been offering their gift of allowing us to come into conscious choice, to tap in. And also what we can do is tap into, and these crystals are reminding us what I also wanted to tell you, is that we have so much light inside us. And we think that we're in the dark during the winter sometimes and because all we're seeing is the darkness. It gets dark earlier and longer and all that. But we can choose to tap into that inner light, and the crystals can show us how, just by being around them, just with their energy. And you can see these crystals. It's the snowflake obsidian, the dark glassy stone, natural glass, which itself is very reflective. You can see its reflective quality that almost hides the snowflakes that are in there. Isn't that amazing? They just disappear through the reflection. It tells us a lot. And then the ice quartz beside it, to the right. Such clarity, such icy clarity. So we can get clear with ourselves, despite all the noise around us. And then an andalite above, to the center and above. You can see the rainbow reflected in the faces of the crystal, and as you turn this crystal, you'll see more and more light and color and rainbows. It's quite an amazing stone. It's called rainbow quartz. Some people call it rainbow quartz, and you can see why. All these beautiful lights. And it reminds us, first of all, rainbows are a beautiful symbol of hope. But it also reminds us to look at the reflections and find the light, to look at the reflection, find the rainbow and the color, to look within, to find our own light, our own colors. So call on these crystals. Tap into their energy through this video if you have no other access to crystals at the moment. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're somewhere where you don't have your crystals. You can always tap into the energy of these stones through the video. Even just sit, turn the volume off and just sit with them. Replay the video and sit with them with the volume off and just allow them to fill you with that light, that hope, that clarity, that understanding, that new perspective of the dark, that reflectiveness. And that shift from where the snowflakes, the light patterns, the gorgeous patterns emerge when we shift that perspective and we can see them again. So I invite you on this solstice to celebrate the darkness, to celebrate the rest the rest and luxuriate in it. Allow yourself to luxuriate in it. You can find ways. This rest, the four-letter word that is so taboo in our culture because it doesn't seem productive. Yet it's the most productive of all the phases, all the cycles, that rest period. It's when so much is happening beneath the surface that can't be seen. I wish you, my friends, a beautiful, light-filled, restful, joyful, blissful solstice, winter, year, all the things. And when you forget, draw on these crystals, call them into your lives and let them remind you. Much love to you all.